Welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. What I'd like to discuss with you today is an error that I would make all the time. It was cloaked in what appeared to be humility and kind of sobering up, but it actually was a gross error that I made time and time again with Samantha, and it took a long time for me to see it this way. I can spot it in others now, especially the unfaithful spouse, because I struggled with it for so long that I know what it feels like, know what it looks like, I know what it does to the betrayed spouse, I know what it does to us unfaithful. So today is for both of you, unfaithful and betrayed, because if you're doing this, I promise you, you are wounding your betrayed spouse, you're hurting them more, and you're actually hurting yourself more, and you're keeping yourself from being able to help your spouse heal, and you're keeping yourself from actually healing. And if you're not careful, this will keep you stuck. Unfortunately, it'll keep you stuck for days, weeks, but even months and years, and sometimes decades. If you're a betrayed, the temptation might be for you to send this to your unfaithful and go, look, this is what you're doing. Most of the time I say not to do that, but today might be a day where you say, look, I've been trying to get you to see something, and this video may help explain it on a deeper level. This is not going to be a trash the unfaithful video. It's going to be a video that shares one of my biggest failures in terms of my recovery timeline. And I hope it helps you. I hope it kind of breathes some life into your own recovery. And if it makes you go, ooh, I do that, I gotta stop that, then it's a win. If it helps you betrayed go, yep, he or she is doing that, and that's what it's making me feel, or at least it touches on a portion of what it's making you feel, then it's a win. So off we go. What happens is this, and it happened to me a lot. I would have this big moment where I would go, whoa, so I'm doing that to Samantha. Gosh, that sucks. Man, I hate that I would do that to you, Samantha. I feel so bad about doing that or what I've done. And then I would sulk about it, but it would be more like, man, I hate that I did that. I hate that I did that. And I feel so terrible and I feel so bad and you deserve better. And what are you even doing with me? And I'm just a failure. And I would end up despising myself for being the way that I had discovered that I was. And we unfaithfuls, when we're genuine, okay, when we're authentic, we hit a point where we go, man, one day I really absorbed, with the help of a great friend and a trained expert, I kind of hit this point where I was like, man, I see how Samantha feels. Like I genuinely kind of had the blinders come off and I was like, oh my gosh. And yeah, I cried, I wept, but it wasn't like this, oh, amazing cry. It was just like, man, I feel so bad about doing that. And I carried with me this sense of grief. But then I despised myself for being that way. Then I started to really shame myself for being that way. The problem is this: when we do that, we're still focusing on us. And it's a critical mistake, because instead of then focusing on our betrayed and going, dude, oh, I am so sorry. That's probably made you feel X, Y, and Z, and then let me start over and say A, B, C, and D, and now I can maybe understand why you feel this way and how you feel this way, and I hate that I have done this, and I hate that I have made you feel that way, and I hate that I have acted like this, because now I see it. That's how we should approach it, but we kind of stop and say, I'm just a failure. I'm just an idiot. I can't believe that I did that. And we keep hating ourselves, and we keep staying stuck in what just a jerk, piece of junk, idiot we were, and then we just continue to stay in shame. Because again, we're making it about us. We are continuing to focus on, I'm so bad, and I'm. See, when we really start to get healthy, we can feel that and go, oof, Samantha, I see now why you would feel this. And there were several moments that happened where I eventually started to see it, got coached through it, and was able to go, and I can see how you probably felt this and this and this. And you probably still feel this and this and that when I do that. And all the while, sometimes Samantha would kind of look at me and, very graciously nod her head. Sometimes she would cry at the fact that I was finally getting it. Sometimes she would still kind of go, yes. And you could tell she was really hurt and really angry about this particular pattern in my life. But every time I was able to go a step deeper and make it about her and what it did to her and how it affected her, it was a game changer. Okay, we've talked about the problem. Now, what do you do? How do you handle it the right way? Number one, you have to understand you can't fix it. There's no magic wand. You can't Men in Black it. You can't wipe it away. So own the fact that you can't just fix your spouse or partner, and you can't fix what you've done to them. You also can't just deny it and go, that was then, I'm new now. It's a new person now. I'm new. It's over. Forget about it. No, let's not. Let's stop fixating on who I used to be. Let's focus on who I am now, even though I've only been this new me for maybe a week or two or a month, and really I haven't even established new patterns of the new person that supposedly I am. I hate to get cynical, but that's kind of the reality. You can't make it go away. You can't live in denial, and you can't minimize it. That's not going to work. None of those things are going to help. So what you can do is own it and say, you know what? I did do that. I have done that. You can accept what you've done. And then you may have to legitimately grieve for what you've done or who you became. You should feel that sadness. You should process that sadness. You should feel a sense of, man, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I'm capable of being that type of person. And I feel sad about that. And you could apologize to your spouse. And maybe you could apologize and go a few steps further like I did earlier and talk about how it's affected them. And really have a sense of grief that you process somewhere else. Not continually going back to your spouse going, I'm just this, blah, blah, blah. I'm just that, blah, blah, blah. No, find an expert, third party, safe place where you can process it. I would say, depending upon the severity of the issue, within about 2 weeks to a month, depending upon the type of support and help you're getting, you should be able to have grieved it and then part with it and move on. I'm not saying, hey, we've moved on. It's been a month. Let's stop talking about it. No, I mean that you're able to go, yeah, I was like that. And I don't ever want to be like that again. And I'm going to get help to make sure I never am like that again. I'm going to get help to see why I was like that or why I still sometimes do that, but I'm going to own it, accept it, and I'm going to stop doing it. I'm going to part ways with it. I'm going to get so healthy that I don't reach back and utilize that approach anymore. I'm going to part ways and forsake self-pity. I'm going to part ways and separate myself from self-absorption and sulking and making it about me. And I'm going to be able to make it about my victim, my betrayed. I'm going to be able to continue to own it and help them heal from what I've done to them. I'm not going to stay down, but I'm not going to forget that I did what I did. I'm not going to forget what kind of a human wrecking ball I can become, because part of getting healthy is accepting who you were and who you can be if you don't have proper recovery principles in your life. Finally, after you've owned it and accepted it and then grieved it and then parted ways with it, forsook it, and getting the right help to make sure you never go back there, it's time to start living again. It's time to break free of who you used to be, even though your spouse is wrestling with it. It's not in denial. It's choosing to not be that person anymore. In the great movie, The Shawshank Redemption, there's a point where he says, it's time to get busy living or get busy dying. I hope you can get busy living. I hope you can live again. I hope that you can forgive yourself and not live in denial and start moving forward if you're an unfaithful. Break out of the shadow. Stop shaming yourself from what you've done, but be prepared for your betrayed to still see you in that light until there's been some consistent time to show them. And I'm talking years. Yes, years. Until you've put together some good, strong years of consistent faithfulness and progress, not perfection, but progress. Until you've established that, don't be surprised if it's hard for them to see you in this new light. But as you see yourself there, and as you start to walk that out, you're going to win their hearts slowly but surely. You don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to keep despising yourself. Make it about them before you make it about you.